Hi everyone. Today we're catching up with the talented Zubair Bobat, a voice known for blending powerful poetry with soulful singing. We'll be talking about his creative journey and the exciting upcoming event, Raat Gaana Ka Hungama. Let's dive into the conversation. How are you?
I'm very well, and yes, Siddharth Bhai.
Awesome. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you, and especially when I saw your post on Facebook, I thought I must catch up with you because it's really interesting.
Yeah, I know it's been what's now the third time we're catching up, or the fourth time we're catching up, and it's been exciting, you
Uh,
know.
yeah, I think it's probably the third time.
Yeah, could be the third.
Yeah. So, yeah, Zubair, it's great catching up with you again. How has your journey with singing and poetry been evolving recently?
Poetry has been on a slowdown because
Oh,
so the first, the last time we spoke, I did a poem, which was more of a short story, uh,
okay.
well, a poetic short story. And from then, I have been creating a bit more because the first one was published into an anthology, and I'm trying to not go the anthology way. I would like to have my own book. So I've been, trying to find different inspiration to create different pieces of writing to maybe um, accumulate about 30, 40 poems, and then I would have my own book, inshallah. In terms
Hmm.
of music and shows, that's been picking up very well.
Awesome. Your poetry often carries deep emotion. What experiences lately have inspired your latest pieces?
Um, so there's a few different um, inspirations, and most of the inspirations are what is happening live in the world. You know, I won't give too much of information about it. Just that
Hmm.
it's where you go about everyday life, and then you come across a piece of inspiration, not necessarily looking into something, but something that just happens to come across mind and feel it's relevant in today's life. That I would start a poem now. When it comes to poetry, it's more like there's not one that starts and ends. It's
Hmm.
more like one that starts today and one that starts tomorrow and probably ends couple days down the line. Um,
Hmm.
because I'm I'm leaving it there to summer, you know, so to say. Because sometimes when you're pushing onto something so hard, it doesn't come, it doesn't become words, you know.
Hmm.
Whereas I will continue doing something and probably knocking a nail into a wall and find that as an inspiration to put into words for one of those 30 poems, and they're all progressing somewhat at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I've got a comment question for you here. This is from Jitin Rishika. Hi, Zubair. What inspired you to poetry?
Okay, so what inspired me into poetry is um, from the time I was young, I loved poetry. You know, the way the words sound, the way words are spoken. I love play on words. That's the type of person I am. You know, puns and all of those stuff. And when I was young, I used to, obviously it was amateur writing, but I would find something very um, irrelevant, so to say. Like, for example, if there's a tree,
Hmm.
I mean, the tree is outside. Not everybody notices a tree when they're walking past it, you know. And I would write something about the tree, the process of how it's created and how it grows, and so something to do with that effect. And back in the day, I've written about. I'm talking when I was 8 years old. I wrote about 80 to about 100 poems like that,
Wow.
you know. And I just put it aside because at the time poetry was not something that I considered getting into. It was just something to pass time and just and just learn from. because when you get into poetry, it's not 100% perfection, you know.
Mm.
It's about getting into it and studying how words should be said, how to make it poetic. And, you obviously, in that way, you learn how to write, you learn how to speak. And so those 80 or so or 100 about poems, they were kept aside. And for years and years, nothing happened to it. And when I got back down from Cape Town and I was called to do the commemoration of the SS Tilawa, I went back and I tried to look for all those poems, and I think the pages got damaged because at the
Oh.
time there was no technology that I had to put it on. There was no social media at the time to speak about it, and it was very difficult at the time. So when I got back, I couldn't find all of those poems even up till now, and it could have been what I was thinking to put it out there into a book for children. Because at the time, a child learns quickly. So I thought maybe I'd create it as a children's book and put it out there. But unfortunately, I couldn't find it. And when the commemoration came up, which was on the 24th of November, 2024, I was asked to do a song because I was already into music and singing and performing on stage. And when I started creating this poem called the SS Tilawa, there was just too much to speak about of that tragic incident. And from one stanza, it went to two stanza, and from two stanzas, it went to five stanza, and I ended up doing a 50 stanza poetic short story. And I just fell in love with poetry all over again.
Wow.
And that is what, I wouldn't say inspired me, but I'd say that's what re-inspired me to get back into poetry.
Awesome. When you perform, there's a beautiful blend of storytelling and music. How do you balance poetry and singing in your performances?
So when it comes to singing, I do a lot of covers. And I mainly choose the songs that sound a bit more poetic or have a more poetic meaning to it, such as the song Likhe jo khat tujhe wo teri yaad mein hazaron rang ke nazare ban gaye. That is very poetic. So I mainly go with songs that are that have a poetic rhythm to it in terms of lyrics and have a poetic meaning to it, instead of going for a song rather than rather like Panwadi. Panwadi is more a dancing number, and there's not much poetry to it. There is some sort of poetry to every song, but in terms of my own life, my poetry and my music is totally separate because there's time for that and there's time for my music.
Would you consider ghazals to also be poetic?
Ghazals are very poetic. I think they are the most poetic.
Okay, awesome. Because I also like ghazals.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm a big fan of ghazals.
Awesome. Awesome. Looking back at your creative path, what moment made you realize that performing poetry and music was truly your calling?
So I mean, there's a few incidents, but I think one that really the explanation of performing music that stands out is, as growing up, I've studied systems engineering. I'm a qualified systems engineer. I've worked in car auctions. I've worked in rental companies. I've worked in a few different shops or few different businesses and industries. I've done networking. I've dealt with motorbikes, and I've never seemed to move forward. I always came back to square one, where I was left at nothing because I was always moving. Each year was a different place. 1 year Cape Town, 1 year Durban, 1 year Cape Town, 1 year Durban. So each year I had to reinvent myself. And when it came to 2022 December, and I moved back to Durban. My mother said, what, Zubair, why don't you go and try this competition out? And ever since I've been on stage, things just continuously just move forward, and
Yeah.
it was I think an exciting journey. That there's people who came and offered me jobs, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not even getting into that anymore, because 10-12 years of my life not moving forward, working to anybody, not moving forward working for anybody, does not amount to the 2 or 3 years or the 4 years, fourth year that I'm into music, that
Yeah.
have pushed me so far forward, you know
Okay.
and the especially with the recognition that
Mhm.
that people show, towards uh, me being on stage and me performing. And there's so many people who want to know where my next gig is, when my next gig is, or where it is. And Alhamdulillah, this is not to brag or anything, but
Oh,
Alhamdulillah, I've just collected my ninth award,
wow.
um, on the 20 28th of 28th of February. Yeah,
Just to refresh the viewers, which award was that?
this was the
Oh,
Shakti
awesome.
artist. Yeah.
Awesome. For people discovering your work for the first time, what message or feeling do you hope they take away from your poetry and singing?
So one message that really sticks out, and I would love to just uh, put it out there, is my whole point of being on stage is not the money, it's not the fame, it's the inspiration that I can give to others to do the same thing that I'm doing. Yes, it's a tough life, but in the view that I look at it, is that as time goes by, Indian people or Indian kids growing up today do not focus so much on our culture,
Mm.
you know. And back in the day, when I was, say, about 7 8 years old, I used to go to my granny and I used to say, listen, ma, when I walk into this house, there is no such thing as English. You teach me Urdu, you
Wow.
know. And that's how I learned to speak Urdu. That's how I learned to speak Hindi. And culture is so important. It's so beautiful. We Indian people bring a lot of color to this world,
That's
be it
true.
Muslim, be it Hindu, be it Tamil people, be it any type or any sort of Indian. And it is so sad, and I feel very sad that a lot of kids today cannot even speak a word of Hindi, cannot speak a word of Urdu. And it saddens me how less culture is considered. And the decline of
Mm.
culture in this world is prominent. It's you can see the views of it going downhill. And that's all that I wish, is to inspire people, uh, to hold up the culture, to push it forward the way I'm trying to do.
That's really beautiful. I see you're part of the upcoming event asking about Ghana to Hungama. Can you tell us how you became involved in this exciting show?
Okay, so this is my own show that I'm putting together. And I did my first show was in October 26th of October 2024. That was my
Okay.
first show that I put together. Unfortunately, I haven't put another show of my own together because I've been so busy, being
Mm.
booked out by other clients. But
Yeah.
I was feeling like, what, something is missing, and I need to do my own show. And in my mind, it was there for about a month, and I decided, what, let's just push this thing forward. So I phoned a person who I work with, and she deals with MCs. And I said, listen, yeah, I want to put a show together for a certain cancer patient, you know. And she said, yeah, let's go. I'm on board. So she and I, we co-hosting this event at Sherwood Hall on the on the 31st of March, on the 31st of May,
Hey. Mhm.
to try and raise funds for a cancer patient. Now, yes, it's not marketed as a fundraiser. I know it can push the event forward, but I am not trying to embarrass anyone by bringing them into it or their name into it or any of the stuff or any of that sort.
Okay. The lineup looks vibrant with performers like PresheN, King of Hearts, and comedian Sir Bastian. What can audiences expect from your performance on that day?
So my performance, I mean, if people have watched me live, and there are a few videos on Facebook that they can check out. A lot of the times when performing, then people don't get enough of me being on stage, and I don't like to say this in a any way conceited or anything. I'm a person who
Yeah.
loves being on stage. I love singing to people and I love making them happy. That's my goal. And a lot of times I say, or I get a comment or somebody comes up to me and says, Zubair, can you please sing another song? And unfortunately, most of the time, since it's not my program, I can't add another song onto the program because the timing doesn't belong to me. You know. So in this event, I'm doing a 4-hour event,
Wow.
um, to try and put a lot of my own effort into
Yeah.
this. The song, there should
Awesome.
be at least about 18 to 20 songs, and if they need more, the timing belongs to me, and I will do whatever I can to make whoever it is happy at this event.
Awesome. That sounds great. The event is happening at Sherwood Hall on 31st of May. How are you preparing to make this performance special for the audience?
So this is going to be a very mesmerizing show, I'd say, because a lot of the
Mhm.
time I'm performing the upbeats as it's what other people want, and sometimes I get to throw in my own, which is the more mesmerizing melodies of music, and that is what I find um, makes people a bit more relaxed, makes people a bit more happy. I mean, I don't try and force the crowd to clap. You know,
Yeah.
I I would love people to just be there, enjoy the moment, enjoy the energy, and that is what I want to bring to the table. Yes, there is going to be some upbeat because not everybody is going to be the same.
Yeah.
Where they want to dance. There is going to be a Bhangra session after, which the music will be played, but a
Mhm.
majority of the songs that I will be singing will be uh, more to the meaningful poetry way.
Okay.
And then there's also going to be PresheN, who is going to bring the dance element into this, and we are also getting other artists to bring in a bit of dance just to split the show up. And then we have Sir Bastian, who is going to be the comedian of the show.
Awesome. So then, just to clarify, like when you're doing your performances, you'll have some that'll be funky, and then some that'll be guttural, and then some that'll be like more like
Yeah.
melodic, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So I'm moving in with a theme of bringing in songs starting from the old days and coming
Okay.
into the new days, a a progression of the timeline and a
Okay.
progression of the various singers. So back in the day, we'll start off with Kishore Kumar, we'll start off with Muhammad Rafi, and then we move
Nice.
into the later Kumar Sanu, Udit Narayan, coming into the later Atif Aslam, um, and Arijit Singh, Jubin Nautiyal, moving into that sort of a progression.
Awesome.
Yeah,
The
as
show.
well as we also got, I just updated the latest poster. So we're going to have legendary singers performing there as well, Fatima and Omar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. The show seems to mix music, poetry, and comedy. How important is it for you to be part of events that bring different forms of entertainment together?
So the I mean, I can sing on stage for 4 hours straight, but
Wow.
it's not only about me.
Hmm.
Every time we do an event, be it whether I'm booked for a solo gig, it's not just myself that is part of an event. It is the organizers, it is other performers who also bring their own element to people who enjoy that sort of element, such as there's going to be people who's going to love dancing, and hence PresheN is there. There's only a seating of 170 people, and 170 people can't only like singing,
Yeah.
you know. There are going to be the dancers, there are going to be people who want to laugh. We want to make people laugh as well.
Hmm.
And there's going to be an element of different things for different people,
Okay. Before
you
I
know.
get to the
Uh,
okay. I was just gonna ask you, like, before I get to the final question, are you open to doing a like ghazal song towards the end?
so there's going to be Kawali towards the end. Ghazal should be in between.
Oh no, I know. Like, what I meant is like, are you open to singing a ghazal song towards the end of this chat?
Oh,
That's
yes,
what I meant.
yes, yes. I will sing a Ghazal for you, yes.
Exactly. All right. Finally, for those thinking about attending Ashki Raat Gaana ka Hungama, what would you say to encourage them not to miss it?
There's going to be a lot of a lot of how can I say, to put this into words, right? Firstly, don't miss it. That's going to be the usual story. But
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
there is a lot of people who are putting shows together with the same element over and over and over again. You know, this is going to be a different element because most of the shows that happen do not have a full or a comedy segment. Yes, you are going to have um, an MC, for example, throwing out one or two jokes, but this is going to be
Okay.
a double segment added to comedy, so people will sit there, enjoy, and probably laugh into the next segment. You know, so that is one element not to miss. The dancing element as well. There's going to be PresheN, which is King of Hearts, and there's going to be child superstars. Um, Sanavi and Ayushan, who we are trying to get on. It's not yet confirmed, but hopefully we get
Oh,
them on board. And they are not one to miss. I mean, they are the future. I'd say Ritik Roshan and um, who's it? Ajan Achelechik,
No, Manjiri.
Madhuri Dixit. I'm not joking. They are fantastic. When it comes to my singing, I mean, I won't speak of myself. But
hmm
people can go up onto my Facebook and TikTok and obviously decide for them. Um, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as I speak.
Cool.
We are we've got a few different elements. I mean, we've got legend singers there as well. So there's quite a few elements to not miss. I mean, if people do want to come to the show, the tickets are only 100 rand, and we are doing this in support of a cancer patient. So all the funds will be going to her. Um, I wouldn't say come and support myself. I wouldn't say don't miss it. I wouldn't say any of the sort. I would say if anybody has the means to help a cancer patient achieve her goal or become well, then that is the main and the top element of the show, and that is what I would speak about. Uh, why people shouldn't miss the show, because it's not only to help, it's not helping myself mainly, it's not helping um the other artists are only there to bring the show together for that, in support of that cancer patient. So the entertainment goes to the audience from our side, and the support goes to a cancer patient, and that is what I hope that people do not miss out on the show.
Wow, that's really beautiful. All right, I'll leave it to you.
No problem. Thank you so much, Siddharth. Bye.
Oh, no, sorry, I was gonna,
So,
yeah, yeah.
huh?
And then I was gonna say I was gonna leave you to it for the song.
Oh, yeah. No. I haven't forgotten about that. So, one song that has been very important in my life, I'd say,
Okay.
is the song from Tumbin,
Okay.
and that is Koi Faryad. So I will do an unplugged version of that, not the original,
Yeah.
which goes like this here. हर मुलाकात पे महसूस यही होता है हर मुलाकात पे महसूस यही होता है मुझसे कुछ तेरी नजर पूछ रही हो जैसे जागते जागते एक उम्र कटी हो जैसे जान बाकी है मगर सांस रुकी हो जैसे कोई फरियाद तेरे दिल में दबी हो जैसे कोई फरियाद तेरे दिल में दबी हो जैसे. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man.
Now, to those who have two speakers, one on either side of the phone, I hope they could hear it on both sides of the speakers, because my left nostril is currently blocked. So,
Oh, shit, man. Oh, shit, man. I know, man. You were awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time once again, and hope to catch up with you again in the future.
No problem. Thank you so much, Siddharth. And just another thing that I'd like to throw out, I am preparing for another event tomorrow. That is a mass iftar at the Atrium Mall. And that is free to everyone who wants to come up there. It's mass iftar. The program will be starting at Asar time. So for all Muslim viewers who like to listen to Naat, I will be performing Naat at the event, but it's open to all religions. They are all welcome to come to the atrium tomorrow after Asar time, which is Asar time is what time, Ami? just double check the time. It's not there. So looking at about 4:30, just before 4:30, yeah, around there.
Okay, so like 4:30 p.m.
So
in the
that's
afternoon.
free to enter, free to roam around. There will be stalls there as well, so they are all welcome to come.
Awesome, man. Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time.
No problem, Siddharth. But thank you so much for your time and for your love and for your support. And to all the audience, thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you so much.
Okay.